In the studio, we have Ford City hockey coach Glen Kilgore. Thank you for joining us on the Sports Zone tonight.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Let's just jump right into it. Give our listeners and watchers a little bit of information about yourself. How long you've been involved in hockey? What got you into hockey? And what are some of the things you've been involved with?
I've been a hockey coach with Fort City for 5 years now, since me and Doug started a program back up. Back in my early 20s, I helped out with the in-house programs and some of the midget programs. But then my career took me away, family took me away a little bit. I live in the area, three daughters, so it does take time away from them.
No, yeah, without a doubt.
That's why Doug stepped down. He got 2 daughters also, but 5 years now running the defense, and looking forward to being in control this year.
Yeah, you got some of the control, actually all the control now. You talked a little bit about working with Doug Anthony. What did you take away from working with him? Because you kind of bounce off each other, but he was the head guy. What did you take away from working with him?
Working with him really wasn't head guy. He ran the offense, I ran the defense. Now and then we would look at each other and suggest something, but it was my defense, his offense. The biggest thing was Doug's an awesome motivator. He always gets the best out of every kid. I'm more of a disciplinarian than he is, so becoming more of a motivator is going to be a big thing for me. With him being gone, and he played through high school. I didn't play. He was an all-star. Started coaching after high school, so he's got a wealth of knowledge. And like I had in the paper, we're 10 times the coaching staff with him than I am without him. So it's definitely going to hurt.
Don't sell yourself short. You got some of that knowledge passed down to you, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
As you said, you're the defensive-minded kind of guy. Is there going to be any kind of philosophical change with the team this year, or are we going to stay the course?
None whatsoever. It's worked for 5 years. We're going at about a 75% win percentage for 5 years with us coaching, and there's no need to change. The only thing that's changed is me now. The kids know the program, know what we want, know what we expect, and there's no use changing a good thing.
It's true. We're talking to Fort City hockey coach Glen Kilgore, new Fort City hockey coach, just got the job. As you said, as you kind of alluded to, he said unless he knows it's going to be a blowout, that means there's going to be some good expectations for this coming year.
Yes, very big. We did lose some big shoes. Kevin Valasek's one of the best players Fort City hockey's ever seen. That kid, he's going to Mercyhurst. He should make the D1 club team this year. That kid did everything we asked him. Played forward 1 year, D the next, forward the next, D the So he played where we wanted him. His brother's back. Jesse,
right.
Is going to be our captain this year. He's already been named at our banquet. Very large shoes to fill in his brother, but they were both co-MVPs of the team this year. So Jesse's got, the team's going to be on his shoulders this year, not Kevin's. Joey Sipple's back. He missed half the year last year with a concussion, vestibular type, kind of like Crosby.
Yeah.
He was out for 10 weeks. I mean, he missed a large portion of the season. He came back towards the end of the year, really helped us out. He's going to be a big plus. Josh Oliver will be a year older. He was like third or fourth on the team in scoring. Eric Lindy will be back. He had the second most goals on the team. He'll be an 11th grader. He's a Slippery Rock kid. That's a big thing with the open class. Meet a lot of these kids that I would have never met, and they're getting a chance to play hockey because of that. And we had a 9th grader coming up. He actually played in both tournaments with us last year, Luke Gross. This kid's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Absolute. I hope he just stays in the area because there's a chance he could leave. He's grown 3 inches over the summer already and put on 10 pounds.
That's that age.
He's going to be he's going to be the next Valasek.
A lot of people are there's some misconception going on about what's actually happening to the open class here. People say, "Oh, they're getting rid of it. They're completely getting it." If you could just kind of shed some light on that, because there is a little bit of misconception going on about what's happening to the open class. It is gradually being phased out a little bit, but it's not like you're just throwing the teams out in the cold. So,
in my opinion, like I told you there, the open class has been great for these kids. We've had kids from Riverview, Slippery Rock, Punxsutawney, Leechburg. I've met some incredible kids, in 5 years from these schools that I would have never known, and these kids would have never played high school hockey if it wasn't for the open class. A lot of people put the open class down. In my eyes, it's as competitive as single A hockey. We play, we played Katanning last year and lost to them. The year before, they were Penguin Cup semifinals. We beat them in our tournament. We've beaten Freeport. We've beaten Kiski. They're a double A team now. But with the open class now, what they're doing is this will be the last pure year for open class to play in your conference. There's four sections, and then there'll be an open cup at the end of the year. The following year, from what they're having in the paper and at the meetings, they will put the open class teams into single A, double A, triple A based on some type of mathematical formula they use for high school football. Yeah. They're going to figure out how many boys you're pulling, and that's what classification you'll get put in. And then that year there'll be an Open Cup championship for those teams. The third year they'll just play for the Penguin Cup.
Okay.
So the Open Cup's just getting put into regular high school hockey, which is great for these kids that don't have a high school team, and it's not. A lot of the smaller schools don't have high school teams because it's an expensive sport.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, whether equipment, rink time, or what have you. And now that kind of segues into what I was going to ask you. You kind of already answered it. You're in favor of the way that this is moving. Then.
Absolutely. I feel with the schools combining, not this year, coming up the following year. Probably be a good time with that happening. Would be a good time for the programs to start merging, because like this year our freshman team's merging because we didn't have enough kids, so the Katanning program took them on because they know those kids are going to play together in the future.
Yeah.
And we're having combined JV team because the PIHL ruled that the ninth graders can no longer play freshmen, and a lot of ninth graders aren't ready to play varsity hockey.
Yeah.
So we kind of each had like 6 kids that were, so we made a combined JV team, and it's going to be under the Katanning name, but they're just getting blank jerseys, and because in a year or two it's going to be probably Armstrong Central anyway.
Yeah, something along that lines. You talked about the schools merging, and they did merge the JV teams. How soon? And nobody knows when this school is going to be done, when it's going to open, whether it's 2013, 14, 15, what have you. In your opinion, do you see the varsity teams merging before this school happens? You think they're going to be together before that?
Yes, I think after this coming hockey season, numbers will be down a little bit for both teams, I think. And with a chance to play in your classification, and then play for an Open Cup at the end of the year, which I think, both teams will probably be in a little bit of a rebuilding mode. So I don't think, Katanning probably won't have the horses to go for a Penguin Cup. So that would probably be the year to do it, because the following year you'd be able to play for a Penguin Cup anyway.
Right.
If the teams would have been combined the last 5 years, there'd be a couple state banners hanging in that rink right now.
You got to think so.
No doubt about it.
The amount of talent from both sides. You look at Heinz Koster, the Valasek boys, both. If you think they're on the same team, so it could be merging. Now, would that mess with the classification, if anything? Would it be moving up?
We're not sure. It's off that calculation. We're not sure what it is. But I mean, if you look at the bigger schools in Single A, you got Thomas Jefferson, Mars, Hampton. They're all graduating 300 kids.
Yeah.
You put Fort St. Katanning together, you're lucky to 250.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, a good possibility you're probably still in Single A. Now, we could, if the parents want to, you can petition to play up, which Double A hockey is probably the best competitive hockey in the PIHL. So, you better have your...
You better be willing to move
up. You better have the guns to play in that.
Yeah.
So.
We're talking to Fort City hockey coach Glen Kilgore on the Sports Zone AM 1380. Now, right now, is there anything going on with the team right now that they can, or any guys talking about hockey right now? When do you start gearing up? When do you start getting in that mindset that, okay, it's hockey season now?
The boys know they have off season work. I want them in shape when they. Normally we start towards the end of July. We start doing off ice training. We go out. One of our old players' dad has a camp out by Falcon Park. We use it. We do a lot of plyometrics. Running, when they get there, they got a 2-mile run they got to do right away. Plyometrics, tire, big tractor tire flips. We usually get down into Crick Valley, and there's a hill that comes up out of there. It's called Claypool Hill. We do it in 30-second shifts. It's a mile-long hill, but it's pretty much straight up and down. And, they got to work their butts off just to get up this thing. And we do stuff like that. The ice usually comes on middle of April. We're not sure if it's going to be middle or end of or August this year because of they're getting new boards, new glass, new dehumidification up there. So it just depends on when they get that done, when we get ice. But we will go down to the valley, sports rink down there 3 or 4 times this summer, sometime in July and August, and, get a few sessions on the ice just to break the rust off. So when we do hit our home ice,
ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Now, hockey, unlike a lot of the other sports, it's very intense, very quick for a certain amount of time, most of the time under a minute or a little bit over. Other sports is more slow and enduring thing. Whenever you're getting the guys ready for a hockey season, or athletes ready for a hockey season, what's different in the training, or is there a difference in the training to say, well, you gotta be able to give 110% fierce, ferocious for a minute or so, and then you get the little bit of break?
Every kid's different. The biggest thing is once we get on the ice is expanding our lungs. It's totally different because we have a couple of kids that come in from football, and you'd think they'd be in shape from football, but once they get on the ice, you're in a cold area. Now you're skating. Yeah. It burns the lungs when you skate because the coaches will skate with them too. I referee also, so I try to stay a little bit in shape, but but every kid's different. I had a kid the year we won states, RC double. That kid, I could have skated him the entire game, and he wasn't tired. This kid I would skate him 30 minutes a game.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Sports Zone tonight, Coach, and best of luck to you and in your inaugural season. Hope everything goes according to plan, and in the future we could see Ford City and Katanning together. Hope you're on that coaching staff.
Hopefully I am. I mean, we look forward to it. I think everybody at the rink does. We saw, Doug was part of Armstrong Central back in the early 90s.
No animosity towards the two teams or anything.
The kids loved it. It was more the parents, I think.
And it's usually what it is.
They won a Penguin Cup, lost in a Penguin Cup, and they lost like 6 games in 4 years. I mean, how can you complain about something like that? So
that's usually how the kids love the parents complain about it. So. Well, like I said, best of luck. We were talking to Ford City hockey coach Glen Kilgore. Thanks again, once again, good luck. We hope to have you back on talking about a cup championship.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
All right.